1 year ago, Jerry the OG proclaimed that for Bloody Roar Extreme to appear at Combo Breaker in 2025, $5,000 would have to be raised for the pot prize. Well, Bloody Roar Extreme did appear at Combo Breaker this year, though leading up to the event, many things went wrong. Here was the rough original plan for Combo Breaker. Raise $5,000 for the tournament's pot, being split between the top 3 finishers. Have Jerry and Phil, of course, handle tech. Have Phil and myself organize the tournament on site. And have Phil and myself commentate the top 4. For a myriad of reasons, not the least of which being financial and/or partial or total destruction of property or transport, none of this happened. Phil couldn't go to Combo Breaker, and about a month before the event, I realized that I couldn't go either, even though I ordered my badge as soon as pre-registration opened. Already we were down half the tech team, all the TOs, and all of the commentary team. The goal of $5,000 for the pot was not met, but there was a $4,000 pot, which was both a record high and meant that Bloody Roar Extreme had a larger pot prize than some of the main stage games at Combo Breaker. This pot was announced at the 4-minute 45-second mark of a 6-minute long trailer, which spent more time on dancing and Kingdom Hearts references than explaining the event in any coherent way. This trailer was also released only 4 days before the cutoff for registration, so it would be easy to simply not know about the prize money. Then there was the field of competitors. Some notable players from prior tournaments wouldn't be able to make it to Combo Breaker this year, including July Saline, who finished 5th last year, and Nan, the runner-up for each of the last 3 tournaments and winner of the East Coast Throwdown Bloody Roar Extreme tournament a few months prior. Making matters worse, Dom Presses Buttons also wasn't sure if he'd be able to go until shortly before the event.
If it was like anything from, say, 2023 or 2024, it would have been like multiple months, like going on maybe 6 or so months. I'd be playing with other players and stuff like that. But because of how outside circumstances were kind of just forcing the looming threat of not being able to show up, it kind of soured my expectations to practice. So everything that I've prepped for Combo Breaker was all just from the random chances I did get to play with Jerry, which collectively was about a month.
But arguably the biggest problem leading up to Combo Breaker was something that happened months before the event. Jerry started playing Fortnite, because he is a massive Hatsune Miku simp. For every problem, though, there is a solution. Dom ended up being able to go to Combo Breaker after all. Phil did eventually find a way, with a little help, to show up for at least Sunday, the day of the tournament. So he and Jerry acted as tournament organizers. A couple friends of Jerry, J-Bills and Cirrusfire, stepped in to help on the tech side, with J-Bills supplying a laptop that was used to store controller profiles for all of the players and transfer them between stations. As for the missing entrants from past tournaments, there are only 2 ways to make up for their absence. Get some up-and-coming new blood to sign up, or have the returning players come back stronger than ever. To some degree, both of these happened. In spite of the pretty last-minute trailer drop, 29 people entered the Bloody Roar Extreme tournament. There were some unfortunate mid-tournament dropouts like Omega Black, who was also in the Scramble Heart City tournament happening at the same time, but there were also players like The Orb, a friend of Jerry's who joined the tournament after training with Kronos for a whole 2 days. In spite of that, she still managed a 9th place finish.
I think with a bit more conditioning and a bit more time practicing, I think Orb probably would have made it. For a person that has only learned the game for about 2 days, she has done extremely well. The fact that she got like a single-digit placing in a tournament like that on her first try is really good.
Returning player Ironside cracked the top 8 for the first time, as did first-time entrant Shadow Glare. Black Vegeta FGC came out of nowhere to nearly crash the top 4 party. But ultimately, the top 4 looked like this. On the winner's side, it was Jerry the OG and Dom Presses Buttons. On the loser's side, Dacid Bro, on top of finishing 3rd in the Mystery Game Doubles tournament, returned to the top 4. And joining him, 1 year after narrowly missing out on a spot, was Dizzy Pink, who just beat out the returning MGD Aerodynamic.
I really liked Mega Aerodynamic's performance this year. He kept it simple and concise throughout the entire time, and he got 5th because of it, and I'm very happy about that. He's been steadily getting better with each time he's participated, and I've began to notice that a lot.
And so, as one of the last tournaments of the weekend, the top 4 for Bloody Roar Extreme would be streamed on Justin Wong's Twitch channel. Eventually. Maybe? The start of the top 4 was delayed by a little over an hour due to tech problems. Based on what I was told by people at the event, some of the tech staff tried blaming the delay on the laptop used for transferring controller profiles. But the actual cause was something dumber. The game on stage prior to this one was streamed using a Mac. Because Macs need to feel special, it altered several of the settings for the monitors and capture card, and also wouldn't play nice with the laptop. This did eventually get figured out, though the game would still sometimes not run at 60 frames per second because reasons. While the crowd was anxious, there was at least one person who was thankful for the delay.
There was an air of anxiousness up there because I knew who my next opponent was, but at the same time, I knew that I felt this air of fatigue on me because of how I went through the bracket. So I took that as an opportunity to honestly just take a rest. Just actually close my eyes, sit in the seat, and just visualize what could potentially happen in the future and come up with a game plan about how to attack the bracket. As much as I would have wanted to get the ball rolling on time, I think I needed that moment of reprieve after the pools to kind of get myself ready for top 4. So in a weird sense, I'm thankful for the delay because it helped me get my mind straight.
As for commentary, Avatar Yaya returned for another year, and alongside him was Fire Fist Javo. When I dropped out of Combo Breaker, he stepped up. I gave him a couple reference docs for the characters and people in the tournament, but Javo was already pretty knowledgeable about the game, its characters and mechanics, and the people playing it. He also had pretty good chemistry with Yaya, so all in all, everything worked out on that front. Jerry and Dom started the top 4 with an Uriko vs Gado matchup, a bit of a surprise as Dom is mostly known for his play with Marvel. Nan tried something similar in a previous year, though Dom's prime motivation was not necessarily counterpicking based on Jerry's selection.
The first priority was I wanted to show different characters, yes.
Okay.
The second priority was which one did I want to choose? Did I want to go for speed first or do I want to go for power first? Considering the fact that it was Yuriko on the screen, I know how good Jerry's Yuriko is. So if I am able to try to get rid of her as fast as possible, then I would gladly do that. And I felt like the best course of action would be picking Guile. So it's if I'm going to get counter hit, I might as well pick a character that 1 hits hard and 2 has simpler inputs that leads to faster poking choices. I also have, the surprise factor of, I have throw mix, which is something that I normally don't employ a lot because my main character doesn't really have a strong throw mix. However, when that match played out, it was clear that everything said on paper sounds like a good idea, but the application of it was not that great. I will dare say it was bog water.
In the power versus speed matchup, Jerry would take the first set, 3 rounds to none. Dom then went to the exact opposite end of the power and speed spectrum with Bakuryu.
There's been so much of a premise on Koryu being the better mole of the group that I'm no, let's give the boy some shine. Let's see what he can actually do. As much as Koryu is the better pick on paper, I feel like his ability to stand out on the screen is not as fun to watch. I feel like Bakuryu is a lot funner to experience, both as a spectator and as a player.
He would take a round and end up showing off the lower level of the aquarium stage by accident, But Jerry still took the second set. For the third set, Dom selected Marvel, and he would take Jerry a full 5 rounds, but in the end, Jerry took the match 3-0, sending Dom to the loser's bracket. He did manage to pull off this really smooth leg counter though.
Kick move. Back to counter! Such a smart usage of her counter.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Dacid Bro and Dizzy Pink squared off, and one thing became apparent quickly. Dacid Bro is a solid extreme player, but Dizzy Pink was doing damn near whatever he wanted. Across 3 sets, Dizzy only lost 2 rounds. That's 2 out of 11 total. Once he figured out how to evade and punish in the middle of Yugo's strings, he didn't even need to use the long reach of Zeon's beast form to do any pokes or zoning. Also, Dizzy kept doing this thing where he'd count off the rounds after the match.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
That set up Dizzy versus Dom in the losers final, and Yaya had a strange but nevertheless appropriate way of describing these two.
They've been going at it. Dizzy has been like, I'm finna cook.
Yeah.
Dom is just all reserved. You know that meme with the 3-headed dragon?
Yeah.
You know, like the one that's like, I'm serious. And then the other one's calm, and the other one's like goofy.
Silly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the goofy dragon, which is Dizzy, and then he's the calm and reserved one. But they all can cook.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Dom would again make a somewhat surprising pick by fighting as Long, though to him, this wasn't a surprise at all.
Long, I will say, of those 3 that you mentioned, has like the most prep time. It's also borrowed from the fact that I used to play him a lot as a kid, so it was kind of like a combination of knowing things from the past, also learning streams that I know now in the future thanks to the help of the community. And with more experimentation with him, I started to secretly put him in the back pocket for like a just-in-case type scenario.
He'd already faced Dizzy with Long in pool play, and in the top 4, the Dom in his name stood for Dominate. Not only did Dom win in straight sets, Dizzy only won a single round in the whole match, being unable to keep Dom at unborn arm's length. If there's one person who wasn't surprised by this, it was Dizzy. He mentioned that he still thinks there's a big gap between players like Dom, Nan, and Jerry and the rest of the field, and he also mentioned that the day before the tournament, he and Dom played each other, and Dom won 10-0, even though Dom claimed that he wasn't on his game at the time.
Me on my game, I would have implemented more move choices in Long's toolkit to provide a more dangerous style of offense for Dizzy to deal with. I would have been more on the ball with my damage conversions as far as TK canceling and counter hit confirming, as opposed to just kind of just running the same sequence over and over again, and just feels like I'm just watch, rinse, and repeating with really no deviation of the plan. It felt like that I was playing only 8% of what I could have brought to the table at the time. He did push me. I'm not going to act like he didn't. He did push me. And the setups did have their moments of latency issues here and there, but he couldn't force me to do the switch. So from that point, it was a bolster and a confidence that, okay, I'm getting better at recognizing when my back is at the ropes and I need to get out of it.
1, 2, 3.
Between rounds, Yaya upheld the time-honored tradition of prodding Konami for not doing anything with this series.
I gotta say this, y'all not getting away with this time. Konami, y'all gotta do something with Bloody Roar. I love y'all right now. Y'all dropping Metal Gear in August. Can we get a Bloody Roar?
Please.
We can't get a new one. Give us a collection. All right, that's all I had to say.
Yeah, please, please, please.
That's all I had to say. That's
collection for sure.
I had to get it out. I had to get it out of my system. But regardless.
And then, Dom would enter the grand finals with a mountain to climb. A mountain named Jerry the OG. Wait, that came out wrong. Let me rephrase that. Jerry started with Alice, a character he'd been gradually working up from pocket character to an extra main over the course of the last couple years, while Dom opted to stick with his main in Marvel. It was easy to be cynical about this matchup given the history of the tournament and the players. Nan was the only one to ever take a set from Jerry, and she wasn't there. And Jerry had never trailed in any matchup against anyone. Dom already lost to Jerry in the winners finals and had far less experience at this game than Jerry. On top of that, to win, he would not only have to win a best of 5 against Jerry, but win a best of 5 to reset the bracket and then win another best of 5. In the early going, that cynicism seemed to be playing out. Dom forced the first set to go to the maximum number of rounds, but still went down 1-0. He stuck with Marvel for the second set and wound up losing it 3-1 after running out of time to make a comeback. Jerry was sitting on 3 championship points as Dom selected Marvel again, possibly for the last time in the tournament. This time, however, he did manage to fend off Jerry's Alice long enough to take a point from him, becoming only the second person to ever do so at Combo Breaker. But still, he would have to do that 3 times in a row just to stay alive. In casual conversations with Jerry leading up to Combo Breaker, he mentioned labbing with Dom here and there. Nothing out of the ordinary, considering he was the one who got Dom into Extreme and taught him how to play it at a higher level. In these sessions, he got a feel for what Dom's level of knowledge of the game and its more sophisticated mechanics were at this point, and he described it in one word: scary. I was watching this tournament on my phone from a hotel room in Atlanta, and I learned something from it. Not about Bloody Roar, but about life. A cornered fox may be more dangerous than a jackal, but if there's something more dangerous than a cornered fox, it's a cornered leopard. Hey Jerry, you think we forgot about this tier list? You know, the one where you put Marvel at the bottom tier? What's that? Jerry's 1 round from winning the tournament? Oh, okay, he's learning how the pavement tastes.
My main goal for going through the tournament was you need to beat the placement that you had before, which was 4th. So once I got to 2nd, it was like, okay, cool. You completed your goal. It is now time to show them that you earned this 2nd place spot and that you can go even further than that.
Very scary. 60 seconds on the clock. Last hit
Ooh,
scenario.
put the beast form the right time.
Beast forms to could potentially win the game or
Getting
completely take it out.
Getting a little bit of that HP back.
8-7 seconds on the clock, man. He's regaining his health. There's a very big.
Oh, the throw! The reset!
No way!
The reset
Oh
from
my
Dom.
God, yo, Dom has locked in like I've never seen him before. I ain't never seen Dom go this crazy.
Yes.
Let's see that again, from the crowd view this time.
No way. Whoa! Oh! Oh no! No way! Woo! Oh my god! Oh my god! How? Reset! Woo!
Even with the 2-set deficit, I was still like, okay, don't worry, it's okay. Just pay attention to what's happening on the screen and adjust accordingly. You've been through this scenario with this particular matchup before, so just practice what you have learned or apply what you have learned. And I'll be honest, when I caused that bracket reset, I can only describe the feeling as a soul leaving a body for a split second. But even after that, it was just took a split second, resetting myself, and just like, okay, the job's not finished. Let's go back in and do ourselves proud.
I tell you this with the utmost sincerity and not a single ounce of hyperbole. What these two did at Combo Breaker was the best match for any Bloody Roar game I have ever seen. There is no highlight reel, there is no way I could cut together the footage from the stream that would do justice to what these guys did in this tournament.
I had friends that literally came up to me after watching that, and they said they want to try their hands at Brex because of how good it looked.
By the way, just so you understand the passage of time in these matches, the match between Dom and Dizzy Pink lasted about 7 minutes. We're at the 20-minute mark of the Grand Finals, and the bracket just reset. Although through all of this, Dom had no idea how long he'd been playing.
When you enter the zone, you tend to lose your sense of time. It would just felt like, not instant, but like the normal amount of time. And I feel like that feeling of being lost in the match or being lost in the game that you care so much about is one of the best feelings about playing a game like this or playing any game that you love.
In spite of the losses by both Jerry and Dom, neither of them would switch from the characters they started with. And there was a reason for that.
There was a moment during Grand Finals, like after the reset, where I'm thinking to myself, okay, Jerry knows that I'm aware of some Alice tendencies now. So if I were him, I would switch. I was fully expecting a switch to either Yuriko or Fang. Yuriko would have changed the tempo of the match, and Fang's rush down I think is a lot more effective for Marvel, at least in a quick setting. But he chose to stay with Alice. I remember him telling not only myself, but various other members in his community that he wanted to get a win with Alice. I could have switched along and probably would have been a different outcome. I'm not going to say better or worse, but it would have been different. But considering how much hard work I put into the character, it would only feel right that both of our hardest working characters be in this setting to clash it out.
After the bracket reset, Jerry came out swinging, nearly earning a perfect round against Dom. But Dom responded with a timeout win, a round where he was one hit from being KO'd and fought back to win, and a dominant 4th round victory to make it 1-0. Not only was Dom the first person to take a set from Jerry not named Nan, and the first person to take a best 3 out of 5 against Jerry, but he also became the first person to beat Jerry in a best of 5 and hold a lead against him. That seemed to wake Jerry up, utilizing Alice's Bunny Love Beast Drive, which really looks out of place considering her portrayal in Extreme, but that's a discussion for another day. The third set seemed to be more of the same, with Jerry winning a quick one-sided first round, followed by a timeout win where Dom just refused to let go of the last of his health. Then Dom started pulling off several evades and working in throws to keep Jerry off balance. Marvel's throw game, or lack thereof, is a regular criticism, but the health bars don't give a shit if you have throw mix or not. With 8 seconds left, Dom had half the health Jerry did, and still clawed back a win with some well-timed lows. And in the final round, after an extended back and forth, Jerry activated Hyper Beast, waited to evade Marvel's back kick, and landed the set-winning hits to go up 2-1. Jerry was 3 rounds from a 4th consecutive Combo Breaker tournament win. Wait, make that 2. After a steady round 1, Dom unleashed the Beast in round 2, landing a series of heavy blows but going for the Mad Trap Beast Drive too early. It's okay, he dodged Jerry's Beast Drive a bit later. Jerry kept it close with his throw game, but the overheads by Marvel made the difference as time expired. Jerry might have taken the next round if Dom wasn't well versed in sideways air recoveries, which helped him end up behind Jerry and put the bunny to bed. Jerry recovered to take the next round in dominant fashion, with Dom only being in beast form for a total of 8 seconds. But look at the beast gauges. Jerry was one knockdown from reverting to human form and not being able to transform for a while, and Dom could enter beast form whenever he wanted. 5 seconds into the round, which would have given Jerry the match, Dom knocked him out of beast form. Jerry did manage to fight back and land a beast drive, getting Dom down to 1 or 2 hits from the end of the tournament. But much like life, Dom, finds a way. He managed to get his beast form back with 15 seconds left, and though he took some extra hits, the health regeneration of the beast form and a few shots of his own were just enough to earn a timeout win, tie the match at 2 sets all, and send the grand finals to one last deciding set. This match is a pendulum. Jerry finds something to exploit in Dom's game, takes advantage, gets some wins. The pendulum swings left. Dom adapts, changes his approach, and either shuts down Jerry's attack or finds an opening of his own to get those wins back. The pendulum swings right. Over and over, round after round. Multiple sets decided by a score of 3 rounds to 2. If this match were a 1st to 10, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the final score was 10 to 9. But here we are, with both players, 3 rounds from glory. At this point, both players are so familiar with each other that a close timeout win seems inevitable. And that's exactly how Dom took the first round. Jerry starts using and landing throws more often, and it leads him to a decisive round 2 win. Round 3, Jerry seems more focused on punishing Dom's advances as much as possible, and it pays off with not just another win, but the advantage on the beast gauge. With Dom forced into being the aggressor, Jerry punished a few more advances, landed the lifting star lane beast drive, and won the tournament. Because I'm a numbers guy, here is a statistical breakdown of just how insane the grand finals were. This one match took nearly 40 minutes to finish. They played 10 sets, of which 3 went to the maximum number of rounds. A total of 43 rounds were played, with 12 of them going so long that they ran out of time, Jerry winning 22 rounds, and Dom winning 21 rounds. I wasn't exaggerating with that 10 to 9 remark earlier. Jerry and Dom congratulated each other, and then Jerry and his questionable choice in necklace proceeded to run backstage and hijack the stream, snagging Javo's headset to thank the viewers and the Bloody Roar community, shout out Nan, and get trolled by Yaya.
This was the greatest tournament
He's
of all
spitting, but
time.
look, y'all, here you go.
What is this?
That snow bunny was helping them get that grand finals, though.
I can't believe you. Anyway, much love to everybody watching. It's been an amazing show.
Which was then followed by a Chipotle ad. The event started so late and ran so long that the medal presentation wasn't broadcasted. Jerry would also record a more lengthy video from his room reflecting on the tournament.
And I'm so happy that Dom did his thing the way that he did. I'm happy Dizzy got 3rd. That's it, bro. I'm glad he was able to make it to get his, I'm pretty sure he got a 4th place medal, but I'm glad he was able to participate again. Who the fuck is that? I'm actually in the middle of recording my monologue outro. Y'all can come in.
Should we wait out here?
No, you good, come on.
And so ended the Bloody Roar Extreme Combo Breaker Tournament for 2025. By far the closest competition yet, and one that set a new standard for the upper echelon of play. Make no mistake, Jerry winning the tournament 4 times is a major achievement. But to me, Jerry's win is a story from this tournament, while the rise of Dom is the story, made all the more impressive considering he didn't have much time to prepare, something that already has him looking to, if it happens, a possible 2026 tournament.
And if 2026 does happen for Brex, I'm definitely going to be there. I've played this game since I was a kid and then had a void for a solid 15-ish years after 4 came out. I thank the community and I thank Jerry for reintroducing me into the game in such an advanced state to where I can now understand how it is supposed to work. champions, they don't come like out of nowhere. It takes time for them to be molded. And that goes with any game. That Marvel that you guys are looking for, those that are of like the critiquers, it's coming.
This is not your
Best
final
believe that.
form.
No, it's not. Because like, now this is me glazing a little bit. Because if I'm not at my final form and I'm able to call a bracket reset and I'm able to go toe to toe with Nan a couple of times, just think of how good it would be once I reach that upper echelon of like, once I'm able to master skills like consistently. Then that'll be some really fun stuff.